Hi, and welcome to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. Today, we're going to work on yourself. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. My name is Kale Houser, the co-founder of Kale Houser Leadership, along with my amazing wife, Liz Houser. We developed Kale Houser Leadership as an effort to reach businesses who didn't have or have not had the opportunity to learn a good way of doing leadership in their business. I'm not saying necessarily the right way, but a good way, one way that we feel is impactful and a proven method of, creating connection and relationship and ultimately inspiration in your workforce and your staff members so that you can grow, you can create a culture of where you're kind of all on the same page and wanting to achieve that next level of success, whether that's increased revenue, opening more locations, growing your team, whatever that looks like for your business. So that's what Kale Houser Leadership in a nutshell is about. If you want to learn more, absolutely go to kalehouser.com and you can get a little bit of more background about us and what we do and the services we provide, and certainly reach out, hit me up on LinkedIn. You can always find me there. Kale Houser is a great place to learn and connect more with either Liz or I. Liz Houser is there too. But today, I wanted to talk about this concept of working on yourself. I was listening to a Tony Robbins training recently, and Tony Robbins, I guess some people probably don't care for him very much, but a lot of people really like him. I happen to like him a lot. I've never been to one of his live events. I've been to an event where he has spoken at and presented at. So I've had a taste of what he's all about in a live setting, upfront setting. And I sincerely, find him genuine in his approach and his purpose and intent, as well as extremely effective in how he goes about, helping people. And one of this training I was going through was talking about kind of a life cycle of, I don't know if business is the right word, but a life cycle of, essentially, you need to be committed and you need to provide value and content, and it's this kind of self-replicating feeding machine. As you become more committed, you provide more value and content and things of that nature. But as part of it, he made this comment, and I'm sure he has made it in other trainings or videos or books. I certainly have not read or seen all of his stuff. And this probably is not new to you. As with most things, they kind of get recycled in different formats and different people say different things. And I guess this is my iteration of saying this thing on my platform. But it does come directly from Tony Robbins and I don't know, he didn't attribute to anyone else. So I don't know if it was his original thought or from his mentor, Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, I think. Work harder on yourself than you do your job. So let me say that again. Work harder on yourself than you do your job. And this is a little bit counterintuitive, especially to the American mindset of business and work. I think we are all taught, or most of us are taught at an early age of, work hard, get good grades, whether that be in school, right? In order to get good grades, so you can get into a good school, so you can further work hard at your job at the time, your schooling, your academics, and then you can get a good job. And then you can work hard for that company and get a raise, and work harder for that company and get a promotion and all those things. And this concept of just working hard for your job is not new for pretty much anyone, at least in the Western Hemisphere in North America. But he adds this little bit of a twist on it of working harder on yourself than you do your job. And what does that mean? If I'm a lineman, that's out there busting my butt because of a storm has knocked down all the power lines, how do I work harder on myself than I do my job? Or if I'm a paralegal, and I'm just working insane hours because the partners that I work for in the law office that I work for has this big case coming up, or whatever that paralegals do. I won't pretend to be an expert by any stretch. How do I work harder on me and get the same or better results than if I were to work hard at my job? And it really comes down to perspective and the intent of the statement. Yeah, it's not necessarily going to lead to a raise in the form of you now achieve that next level of skill in your job by not working as hard at it. But this comes down to foundationally and fundamentally as you as a person. Are you better served, whether it be for yourself or for the company you work for or the company you own, by becoming better at you? Or are you better served at becoming a better technical expert in whatever the doing is of that work, of that job? And the argument is clearly made by Tony Robbins, and I wholeheartedly agree. You become better at everything when you become better at you. And think of it like a funnel. Think of it as you pour things in from the top, whether that be self-improvement, improved mindset, physical health, better nutrition, better sleep, better communication skills, public speaking, all those things that we kind of classically consider self-improvement, mindset, thoughts, self-talk, meditation and affirmations. That's the word I was looking for. And affirmations, like all those things that we think of making ourselves better, able to handle the world and be better equipped to handle all the situations and scenarios of the worlds that we find ourselves in, whether it be at work or relationships and community, church. If you think of it as a funnel of, if you pour that into you first, the outflow of that product and the result of that inflow of working on yourself can do nothing but make you better at your job. Think about that. If you had a better attitude, if you were in better physical shape, if you were able to not breathe heavy walking up 2 flights of stairs, if you didn't get low blood sugar every afternoon and have to pound a candy bar, if you had medication that helped you out with, brain fog, or took the vitamins that you needed in order for that to happen, how much better would you be at your job? But the reality is it takes a little bit of work. And quite honestly, in my opinion, it takes more work to work on you than it does to become better or work hard at your job. Because the job ultimately is just a set of skills that somebody has hired or is paying you for. They're exchanging their money and their resources for some service that you provide, whether that be a technical expertise of you've learned how to fix those engines, so you're going to be a mechanic and do that, or you have had these previous experiences of how to market and the right things to do on social media in order to grow presence and reach and all those things. People are paying you for some sort of expertise or output on your end. And I absolutely, wholeheartedly agree and would advocate that as you improve yourself, whether you are a mechanic working in a garage, or you have your own garage or mobile service, or you are a social media manager and you're doing all these posts and doing this creative content ideas and, blah, 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 you get the point. There's a transitional effect of you getting better at you that translates into better at your job. And that, I think, really is the nutshell of what Tony was trying to communicate in the statement of work harder on yourself than you do your job. Because it will always pay dividends as you improve yourself, as you get older. And you will go through different phases of what that self-improvement looks like as you recognize, as you get into these different scenarios of where you need to improve. Certainly as you start dating and you're thinking about marriage, you probably recognize there's some communication methods that you could learn and improve on, right? As you get into working with different levels of clientele, if you've started your own business, there are some social skill interactions or public speaking as you're wanting to present and do conferences, that these are self-improvement things that you need to gain these skills in order to be better you, which it translates to a better workplace or a better job results. There are methods to where you can absolutely, excuse my distraction there for a second. There are methods to where you can see and seek out these opportunities for self-improvements and working on you harder by the shortcomings that you see. Maybe you are recognizing, or other people are recognizing in you, a lot of negative self-talk, or you have a mentality that's kind of a downer. And the opportunity to work on that again, has no option but to make you better at your workplace, right? So I just wanted to leave you with that. Work harder on yourself than you do your job. And that may be in the form of hiring or finding a mentor. And that may be in the form of a mentor that can advise you or show you where you're at in that process. Again, with, whether it be mindset or health, personal trainers, nutritionists, a doctor, heaven forbid you go and seek something that's going weird with your body that you may need legitimately medication for or surgery, like all those types of things that we tend to ignore as we're focusing on our career. We're really dedicating ourselves to our job in order to prove ourselves and get that promotion and all those types of things. But if you look around you and start noticing, what are the qualities of the people in your world, in your realm that are getting those promotions, that are finding those success? Are they ignoring their bodies? Are they ignoring their nutrition? Are they ignoring their mental health? Are they ignoring their relationships? Are they ignoring opportunities to speak or mindset? Like, what audiobooks are they listening to on the way into work? What are they doing during their lunch hour? Like, all these types of things will give you clues about the successful people and what habits they have and how they're improving themselves. That translates into the improvement at their job. So yeah, thank you for that, Tony Robbins. Super phenomenal. I think it's a fantastic concept and reminder that we ourselves are really the ultimate investment. It will pay the most dividends, more than any Bitcoin or any stock out there. And it's something that you can't ignore and don't ignore. If you have been ignoring, it's time to stop. Hit me up, Kale at Kale Houser Leadership. I've got some fantastic resources for you. If you don't even know where to stop, like, what book should I read first? Like, what's a great step into, based on this area that I want to improve? Like, is there a course I want to take? Like, I've got all kinds of recommendations for you. I'd be happy to help out. Or book a call, kalehouser.com. Scroll to the bottom and book a call with me and we can chat. All right. Hey, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I don't take it lightly. I want to honor your commitment and willingness to learn from me and take what I have to say, at least with a grain of salt, and see how it applies to your life, your situation, and your business. Because ultimately, I want you to be a phenomenal business person for your organization and your community, to provide value to your community and ultimately be successful, because that's what we're here for. All right, everybody, have a fantastic afternoon, no matter where you're at in the world. Bye.